The heavy door to the Guildmaster's office opens with a creak, and the guild hall quiets just slightly, enough for a few heads to turn. Garrick steps out, morning light glinting faintly off his armor. His expression is thoughtful, his pace deliberate as he scans the room. After a few long moments, his gaze settles on table 5. The team looks up mid-breakfast. Orin composed as ever, Kale halfway through a mouthful of bread, Hazel happily devouring what appears to be her second plate, and Simone watching the scene with thinly veiled amusement. Garrick approaches, boots thudding softly against the stone. Without preamble, he places a firm hand on Kale's shoulder, a grounding gesture that draws all 4 pairs of eyes to him. "After you're done eating," Garrick says, his voice low but carrying the weight of command, "I need the 4 of you in my office. I have a special assignment for you." He gives a short nod, then turns and strides back across the hall, disappearing once more through the office door. Kale blinks, watching after him before glancing around the table.
What was that about?
Hazel looks up from her plate, cheeks puffed, her reply emerging as a muffled jumble of half-chewed words.
No clue.
Simone snorts softly, nudging her tray toward Hazel.
Here, looks like you're still working on round 2 anyway.
Hazel grins around a mouthful, tail wagging as she accepts the offering and keeps eating without missing a beat. Kale leans back, brow raised.
So, is nobody concerned about this but me?
Simone tilts her head, watching Hazel attack her meal with wolfish efficiency.
Honestly, I'm more concerned with how much food she can put away.
Orin finishes his tea and sets the cup down gently.
We'll find out soon enough. No point in worrying about it now.
Kale exhales through his nose, a crooked smile tugging at the corner of his mouth.
Fair point.
The 4 sit in that easy tension for a moment, the calm before the unknown. The low hum of the guild resumes around them, but their table feels quietly distinct now, as though the world has already begun to tilt toward something larger waiting just beyond the office door. The door to Guildmaster Garrick's office shuts softly behind Orin, sealing out the distant hum of the guild hall. Inside, the room feels more serious than ever. Morning light slants through a tall window, cutting across a desk buried beneath scrolls, maps, and half-drained cups of tea. The faint scent of oil and parchment lingers in the air. Garrick looks up from a report as the 4 of them step aside, folding his hands atop the desk. His expression is calm but weighted, the look of a man who's made a decision he would rather not have had to make. "Take a seat," he says simply. The group gathers. Kale crosses his arms. Orin remains standing until Garrick gives him a firm look and gestures towards a chair. Simone leans casually against the wall. Hazel, without hesitation, plops down cross-legged on the floor. Once they've settled, Garrick begins. "Viscount Calor has brought me troubling news. A goblin outpost has appeared north of Highwatch Haven within the last 2 days, complete with fortifications and smelting smoke. That kind of construction speed isn't natural. The Viscount suspects Echo influence." He leans back, eyes moving from one face to the next. "Normally I'd send a veteran party, but every one of them is either deployed or recovering. That leaves you 4. I wouldn't send recruits on something like this unless I believed you capable. You'll investigate, report your findings, and neutralize the outpost if you can. Do that, and you'll earn your licenses, along with an additional reward from Viscount Calor himself." A quiet pause follows as the weight of that settles in. Kale speaks first, brow furrowing.
Is anyone else concerned about this? Goblins setting up an outpost overnight? That's not normal. Something's off.
Simone crosses her arms, her voice calm and confident.
That's what we're going to find out.
Kale exhales through his nose, glancing aside.
I'm just saying, this feels like it might be more than we're ready for.
Simone grins faintly.
Between the 3 of us, you, me, and Orin, we'll be fine.
Kale blinks, confusion flickering across his face as he looks around.
What about?
He stops short when he notices Hazel, still seated cross-legged by the wall, absent-mindedly tugging loose bristles from her tail. Simone smirks.
See? We have a pet dog.
Hazel's ears twitch as she looks up sharply.
Hey! That's offensive.
She protests, tail swishing indignantly, which only makes Simone laugh harder. Kale shakes his head, a reluctant grin tugging at his mouth.
Right. Anyway, Guildmaster, do you have any provisions for us before we head out?
Without a word, Garrick opens a drawer and sets 4 small glass vials on the desk. The crimson shimmer of healing potions catches the morning light. "These are all I can spare," he says. "Make them count." Each of them takes one. Orin carefully secures the cork strap to his belt.
Well,
He says quietly.
I suppose that settles it. We should find Viscount Calor next.
"He'll meet you at the northern gate," Garrick replies, rising to his feet. "He didn't want to linger here any longer than necessary." Simone offers Hazel a hand, helping her to her feet as the others stand. Kale gives Garrick a single, firm nod.
We'll handle it.
Garrick meets their eyes in turn, his gaze carrying both pride and unspoken concern. "See that you do. The northern roads have been quiet for too long. Is something stirring out there? I'd rather it be you who finds it first." They nod, one by one, and turn to leave. The office door closes behind them, and their footsteps echo down the hall as they head toward their rooms, gathering weapons, packs, and purpose for the road ahead. Outside, early sunlight spills across the ramparts of Highwatch Haven. Somewhere beyond the walls, distant crows cry out, heralding the beginning of their first true mission. The northern gate of Highwatch Haven looms tall in the early light, its heavy timbers framed by frost-dusted stone. Beyond it, the road unwinds into the misty wilds of the northern woods, silent, watchful, waiting. A handful of guards stand at attention along the walls, though their gazes occasionally flick toward a lone cloaked figure near the outer post. Viscount Calor is easy to pick out, even amid the morning bustle. His attire is as immaculate as it is ominous. Black and silver, the threads glinting faintly with arcane embroidery. A filigreed mask conceals much of his expression, but his posture speaks volumes, rigid, composed, like a man perpetually standing at the edge of a storm. As the group approaches, his attention turns fully toward them, pale eyes sweeping across the floor, sharp and assessing. "I take it you're my escort." Simone steps forward, offering a polite nod.
Yes, we are.
Keller studies them for a moment longer, his gaze slow and deliberate. When he speaks again, there's the faintest curl of skepticism in his tone. "You all do look a little green." There's no malice in the remark, more observation than insult, but it lingers in the cool morning air a heartbeat too long. After he speaks, Hazel's ears twitch. Her nostrils flare, instinct stirring. Beneath the sharp scents of oiled leather, cold iron, and faint perfume, there's something else. Something metallic. A strange, crystalline tang, like stone scorched by lightning and left humming in the air. Not decay, not rot. Something unnatural. It's faint, almost imperceptible, yet unmistakably there, and it clings to him. The mist clings low to the forest floor as the party moves beyond Highwatch Haven's walls, boots crunching softly against the frost-hardened path. With every step, the town fades behind them, stone giving way to soil, torchlight to shadow. Ahead, the northern woods rise to meet them. Tall pines loom overhead, their needles whispering softly in the breeze, while silver-barked birches stand like pale sentinels along the trail. The deeper they go, the more the world narrows, until all that remains is the quiet rhythm of breath, footfalls, and the faint creak of leather and steel. Viscount Calor walks at the front, his pace steady and unhurried. His cloak brushes the undergrowth without sound, never snagging, never slowing him. Hazel notices the way he moves. Not cautious, not careless, but precise, practiced. Her sharp eyes catch the occasional shimmer from the crystalline etchings worked into the rings along his gloves. The light fractures oddly across them, never quite reflecting the same way twice. She keeps her expression neutral, though her grip tightens slightly around her staff. Minutes stretch on in silence. Eventually, Orin breaks it, his voice calm even, as if speaking were simply part of the walk.
How far is the Goblin outpost from here?
An hour, Calor replies, not turning. Perhaps 2, depending on how ambitious they were. There's a pause before he adds, flatly, if the reports are accurate, we'll see the smoke long before we hear them. Kale glances sidelong at Simone, then toward Hazel before speaking up.
And if the reports aren't accurate?
Calor's pace never changes. Then you adapt. Another silence follows, heavier this time. Hazel's ears twitch as she listens to the forest. Too quiet. No birdsong nearby. No small scurrying animals beyond the occasional deer bolting at their approach. Simone rolls her shoulders, adjusting the strap of her quiver.
So,
She says lightly.
do goblins around here usually set up foundries overnight? Or is this a special occasion?
Calor exhales softly through his mask, something that might almost be a sigh. Goblins are industrious when properly motivated,
And what motivates them?
Kale asks. Calor pauses for half a step, barely perceptible. Power, he answers, or the promise of it. That answer sits poorly with Hazel, though she can't say why. The forest grows denser as they press on. The air cools, breath fogging faintly as they move. Frost-covered fungi glow dimly at the bases of trees, pale blues and sickly violets casting faint halos against the roots. Somewhere deeper in the woods, a woodpecker taps rhythmically against bark, steady, persistent. Orin glances at one of the glowing clusters.
Those weren't here last season.
Neither were the goblins, Calor replies. Another hour passes in measured quiet. Then, just as promised, they see it. Smoke. Thin at first, barely visible through the branches, then thicker, curling upward in dark plumes beyond a sloping ridge. As the trees thin, the outpost comes into view. Crude palisade walls ring the clearing, rough-hewn logs lashed together with iron spikes and rope. The wood is fresh, sap still visible where blades bit too deep. Totems hang along the perimeter, bones and scrap metal clattering softly in the breeze. The structures inside are uneven but functional. Smelting pits, stacked crates, hastily raised watch platforms. Kale mutters under his breath.
Yeah, that wasn't here 2 days ago.
Calor raises a hand, and the group halts instantly. From above, a black raven descends, wings slicing silently through the air before landing neatly on Calor's shoulder. Its feathers gleam like polished glass, eyes sharp and intelligent. Calor tilts his head slightly, listening, not to sound, but to something else. His fingers twitch once at his side. After a moment, he turns back towards them. We're close. My familiar confirms 2 primary entrances, southern and western. His gaze lingers on each of them in turn. You'll need to conduct your own reconnaissance next time. The implication is clear. This is the last time he helps. I'll remain here, he continues. Handle this however you see fit. If one of you begins dying, or comes close. His voice lowers slightly as if discussing a minor inconvenience. I'll intervene then. Simone's lips curl into a dry half-smile as she unshoulders her bow.
That's comforting.
Calor doesn't respond. The raven lifts from his shoulder and settles on a nearby branch, watching the party with unsettling focus as Calor folds his hands behind his back. The 4 move a short distance away, huddling low amid the pine needles, their voices drop to whispers. Hazel wipes her palms on her cloak, steadying herself, then checks the grip on her staff. Cale rolls his shoulders once, eyes fixed on the western barricade, already measuring distances. Orin kneels briefly, tracing a rough outline of the clearing in the dirt with the tip of his finger. Simone crouches beside him, nodding once.
Simple.
She murmurs.
No heroics.
Cale snorts quietly.
Speak for yourself.
Orin allows himself a faint smile before looking up.
Western entrance draws attention. Southern flank cuts them off. If things go wrong,
They won't.
Cale says, though his jaw tightens. They share a look, the quiet understanding of people who know exactly how fragile plans can be. In the end, it settles cleanly. Hazel and Cale will hit the western entrance hard and loud. Orin and Simone will sweep in from the south, silent and precise. The air hangs still around them, charged, anticipation thick as stormlight. Somewhere behind them, the raven shifts its footing on the branch. Ahead, the goblin outpost waits.
We set out with pockets full of bad plans, rusty steel and second-hand dreams. Trip on roots, but we keep on running. Rookie hearts burning hotter than it seems. Light it up, we're the ones who keep on rising. Turn a frightened village into songs we sing. Chasing sparks across the dark horizon. Every wild misstep gives a courage wings. From the shadows to the shout of a brand new morn, we're breaking the dawn. This is how legends are born. Ruins rise at the edge of nowhere. Shadows twist where the brave press on. Old cathedrals hide secrets they can't share, but we charge through the dark till the fear is gone. Light it up, we're the ones who keep on rising. Turn a frightened village into songs we sing. Chasing sparks across the